Lightspark's company, they have several different products, different businesses. Spark is a open source technology, which we'll get into. But their announcement today, I think everyone already knew, that is following along with Lightspark and Spark technology, that it supports tokens, its token platform, and will support stablecoins. So that's not news. But the news that was announced this morning is that there's a specific stablecoin issuer that is live on Spark now, which is the USDB. It's the stablecoin from Kraken, Robinhood, Anchorage, and a few others, I think.
So do they have like a consortium that is launching that or issuing that as part of this? Or is that already existed before? That
already existed. A number of companies not named Tether, Circle, and Coinbase didn't really like. I'm speculating, but I don't think like the power dynamics of Tether and USDC. So they issued a new stablecoin. PayPal also issued their own stablecoin, but this one, I think it's USDB. Is it? Yeah, USDB. It's Robinhood, Kraken, Anchorage, and there's a few others as well. I forget if Bit goes in there, but
interesting.
In any case, they announced that like a year ago. They meaning this consortium. But the announcement today is that specific stablecoin on Spark is live. So we should test it out after the show or this weekend.
Yeah,
I think they're even giving away dollars. So if you want some free money,
won't say no to that.
But so that's a little more progress on the Spark network and from Lightspark.
And to be clear, like, because I know we've talked a lot about stable coins and network effects in the past, this doesn't obviously preclude Lightspark if they wanted to issue Circle or Tether in the future. This could be just like a dry run, because my guess is, even though this is interesting, they've got Krakens and these guys in the mix. I don't know the numbers, but I would assume that they have very little volume before this. But who knows? Maybe this is like enough of a differentiator that the stable coin can actually get some traction.
Yeah, I think USDB is a small player right now. Don't really know what their growth prospects are. I think it would take more than just being on Spark. I mean, I generally agree with your first comment that it's like, it's good to have something live on Spark. But no doubt Lightspark wants to get Tether and USDC and any issuer on Spark.
Right.
I would guess is their goal. But anyway,
it operates today on like Solana and Tron and other places. Is that?
Yeah, I should presumably. I actually don't know offhand like every platform they're on, but since it was announced a year ago, I've assumed they're on something like that. Probably Solana, maybe Base, maybe soon. Tempo
or Google. G chain.
Google. Gcall.
Universal Ledger.
Yeah.
It doesn't do. Neutral. You don't need stablecoin, or I mean, like, you don't need a blockchain,
and you don't need to listen to the rest of our episode. You've already heard the conclusion right there.
We already talked about this last week.
You don't need stablecoins.
You can go listen to the end of last. I thought we summarized things nicely at the last, and I remain a Gcall bull out of all these stablecoin
maximals.
Well, I think players like Stripe and stuff can definitely carve out. It'll become very fragmented and messy.
Yeah,
and so it's not like I don't think it'll be winner take all.
Right,
but it'll be like super messy. So I think Stripe will carve out their niche, and many others will too. But I think the database solution by Google is a winning formula.
Yeah. Well, one question, and maybe this will be a good as you think about setting us up for describing Spark. The reason I asked that question on if USDB perhaps will get some more traction now because it's on Bitcoin or interoperable with Bitcoin and Lightning is, and I don't know the answer to this question, but if you can do trustless swaps between Bitcoin and this new stablecoin. I don't know the answer to that, but to me, that's always been one major value proposition is if I'm a Bitcoiner and let's say I'm a major Bitcoiner and I'm outside of the US or I'm even outside the system, whatever way, can I get in and out of dollars without needing to have a centralized market maker between the two different chains?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the answer is yes.
Because that's a huge deal, I think.
Yeah, that's where like offhand, I
I mean, my understanding is that that's a part of what Shazan had to build to make Lava work, like being able to sort of take a stablecoin that comes from wherever it is and have some sort of interconnectivity awareness of what's happening on Bitcoin and vice versa in order to be able to resolve those DLCs. So I think there's at least some novel work toward that end.
I've never seen that published. I find Lava very opaque, so I don't really understand it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Anyway,
theoretically,
should we go through Spark?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for those unfamiliar with it, Spark itself is it's a protocol. It's an open source technology. It allows for I think anyone would consider it I think most people, when you get into debate about what is a layer 2, like the most strictest definition usually is that it has to have unilateral exit. And Spark does have unilateral exit. So I think most people consider Spark a layer 2. So in some ways it competes with Lightning. But just like every other layer, like more broadly, layer 2, Cashew, Fediment, Arc, all of them support Lightning. They all interoperate with Lightning. It's the glue that connects all these systems together. Spark does as well.
By unilateral exit, we mean from the layer 2 to the native layer 1.
Yeah. So okay. if you hold money in a wallet that's based on Spark, and that means you're connected to one or more servers, like Spark servers, and if they just disappear, there's a mechanism for you to get your money back on chain. We'll get into that because it's comes with an asterisk next to it.
How much?
But that mechanism does exist, and most other systems don't have that. Like the BitVM stuff does not, Cashew does not, Fediment does not, and Liquid does not. Lightning, of course, does. Anyway, so
Lightning and Spark are the only ones that have unilateral exit.
Arc as well, which is still in R&D mode, but making progress as well. And so Spark can scale Bitcoin payments, but you can issue tokens on it. And thus we just talked about a stablecoin, so you can issue stablecoins on Spark as well. And then they're on Bitcoin. You don't need another blockchain to build a wallet that supports both Bitcoin and stablecoins. You could just use Spark.